Hello boys and girls. This week in nursery, some of you were helping me to dig our vegetable garden. And can you remember what vegetables we had? We were digging up some onions. And we were also digging up potatoes. And the one last thing that we were digging in our garden is this big turnip. Look at the size of this big turnip. We had a little turnip, but this is our big turnip. And I thought that I could make some soup with our vegetables. I wondered if maybe you could make some soup at home with your mummy or daddy, or maybe gran or papa, like some vegetable soup. So maybe at the weekend you could try making some soup. And then when you come back to nursery, you can tell us how your soup was. Did it taste delicious? I found a story about a vegetable. Do you know what this book is called? It's called The Enormous Turnip. So I'm going to read it to you now. Once a man came out to his garden with his turnip seeds and his hoe. He dug and he delved and he set his seeds in a row. He cared for his seeds, he watered them well, and the turnip seeds began to swell. In a very few days came little green leaves. They poked and they pushed and they pointed. The man with the hoe rolled up his sleeves. He plucked out the weeds and raked off the rubble. He didn't know there was going to be trouble. At last the turnips began to grow. They got bigger and bigger and bigger. And the man with the hoe said, "So, we'll have turnips for breakfast and lunch and for tea, and it's turnips for supper too, thanks to me." One of the turnips, the best of the lot, began to take over the whole of his plot. And I'll show you a picture. Look at the size of that huge big turnip. Does it look like our big turnip from our garden? It grew bigger and bigger every day. It was huge. It was vast. It was enormous. The other poor turnips got out of its way. The man was baffled, but he kept on hoeing, and the enormous turnip kept on growing. The man thought, "It must be time to pull the turnip, but it's just stuck fast." "Come and help me heave," called the man to his wife. The man pulled the turnip and the wife pulled the man, but the enormous turnip just wouldn't budge. But can you see them trying to pull out the enormous turnip? But it won't move. "Come and help heave," called the wife to a boy. The man pulled the turnip, the wife pulled the man, the boy pulled the wife, but the enormous turnip just wouldn't budge. "Come and help heave," called the boy to a girl. So the man pulled the turnip, the wife pulled the man, the boy pulled the wife, the girl pulled the boy, but the enormous turnip just wouldn't budge. "Come and help heave," called the girl to a dog. So the man pulled the turnip, the wife pulled the man, the boy pulled the wife, the girl pulled the boy, the dog pulled the girl, but the enormous turnip just wouldn't budge. Can you see now? Look at all the people and the dog trying to pull out the turnip. Who do you think is going to help next? Come and help heave, called the dog to a cat. The man pulled the turnip, the wife pulled the man, the boy pulled the wife, the girl pulled the boy, the dog pulled the girl, the cat pulled the dog. Meow. But the enormous turnip just wouldn't budge. Come and help heave, called the cat to a mouse. The man pulled the turnip, the wife pulled the man, the boy pulled the wife, the girl pulled the boy, the dog pulled the girl, the cat pulled the dog, the mouse pulled the cat, and there they are, all pulling the turnip. And did it come out this time? The enormous turnip shot right out with a thud and a thwack and a thump, and they all fell back with a bump. Then it was turnip for breakfast and lunch and for tea and turnip for supper, and oh dearie me, the turnip's so good that they can't get their fill, and it's just so enormous they're eating it still. Their turnip was so big that they had to have turnip for all their food, all their meals. So I hope you enjoyed that story of the enormous turnip. Bye.